Goffstown. Welcome to our first studio show where Rob and I are here with Coach Largy, and we are here to talk about this year's version of the girls basketball team, the Lady Grizzlies, who are looking to kick off another season. And I guess we'd be remiss if we didn't just bring up kind of a little bit of how last season ended. Obviously, we didn't get the eye on the prize we really wanted, but the semifinals was a good showing. How did you feel about how last season ended and how that went?
I thought it was great in the sense of, today being the first day of practice, we established those team goals early on, and I thought we accomplished the goals that we set out to, and then I think we even exceeded a little bit of the expectations of other people around the state, and I think we knew we were capable of doing what we did, and I think we knew not only were we going to go to the semifinals, but we were going to give whoever we played, whether it was Bedford, Portsmouth, BG, we knew we were going to give them a game. We were going to compete, and that's exactly what we did. So not just the result, but the way we played at the end, I think was very fitting for the team that we had last year.
Do you see, think about last year's team moving into this year, any similarities in the style of play, the cast of characters that you have? Are there similarities?
There are similarities, but there are some glaring differences too. And some are good, some are, things that we'll have to figure out along the way. I mean, at the guard position, we are very similar. We have some returners coming back that played big minutes for us last year, that scored the basketball for us, that defended well. Inside, we're a little bit different, and we were able to do some things and maybe give some looks that we weren't necessarily as comfortable at this point in the preseason with last year. So it'll be interesting to see how it shapes out, because you have these things in your mind, and I think they all see it too. So it's an exciting feeling, the old and the new coming together.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Rob and I, for the first time, we actually came in and watched a practice earlier today, and it was quite tiring to watch that.
Yeah, I saw you guys working up a little bit of sweat. Yeah,
you girls are in really good shape. Unbelievable. But the thing is that one of the things, and I know we talked about it a lot in a lot of the interviews in Coach's Corner and stuff, we talked about sort of the dynamic of last year's team. You had, the three Avas and Caroline now, the seniors who are gone, who I think were catalysts for that sort of camaraderie. And I think what really made the team exciting to watch was not just the on-court presence and the games themselves all being pretty exciting, but sort of you really had to like that team. I mean, you really kind of liked the girls. You rooted for the girls. They seemed genuinely rooting for each other. Do you see that coming together this year with this team?
I think that's another big similarity is the returning players that we have been through thick and thin with this program, and I think that was the case last year with the Avas and Caroline, is that they had just invested so much in the program. They had spent their 4 years really kind of working together, and we have that similar kind of core of returning players, especially the seniors, the Abigail Estanos, the Ella Malowins who are coming back to the team, Gemma Panarian, Maggie Sasso, Penny Annis. So those kids have just invested so much in the program. And so that's a similar feel where they're super invested. And then you have these younger players that want to go out and win for these kids that have done so much for us.
I think we're going to get to the returning players in a minute, but give us a glimpse of some of the younger girls that we didn't either see on the court last year or maybe were in the JV program, have worked their way up to this next level. What can we expect to see?
Yeah, I think there's always surprises. There are always people that maybe you don't see because they're doing a lot in practice or they're doing a lot at the JV level. So you're going to probably say, where did Keely Caps come from? Right? This is a player that really played well, dominated at the JV level last year, could have played varsity, and she made the determination that she wasn't quite ready for that and really wanted to kind of hone her craft, to her own credit for saying that, at the JV level for one more year. And then, she came in and she's earned a spot on varsity this year. So you're going to see Ella Mallowan, who's been away. And, I mean, just watching her today, you saw her up and down the court, almost no rust. Right, which is incredible to take a year off a sport and then come back to it and look as natural as she does. So you're going to have those contributors as well as the kids that have already done a lot. I mean, I think Abigail Estano had like 28 in a JV game last year. So she's confident. She's going to be able to step in and be ready to go and fill in some big shoes that honestly we're going to need them to. And then we have a cast of freshman kids too that are coming in and playing varsity for their first year of high school basketball, which is a challenge, and they're learning on the fly, but they're going to do some big things for us as well.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be exciting to watch. Obviously, the big glaring thing is Ava Winterburn. You got sort of like an all-state type of player, a starter that only comes along every few years, really, with her scoring ability and stuff like that. Where do you see? Do you feel this team can make up for that lack of scoring?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll make it up in the aggregate. We're not necessarily replacing a 40-point scorer in some games with another one, but I think one of our goals that's gotten repeated and so far in the preseason from a lot of our players is we need to do more in terms of sharing the ball, sharing the wealth, distribution, getting contributions off the bench. So they already have that sense of we can't rely on one person to go off for 40 points 2 nights in a row, right? That's those situations, and we don't need it. We don't necessarily need that to win basketball games. It's nice when it happens, and I'm sure Maggie Sasso is going to have some big nights for us. Penny Annis is going to have some big nights for us, but I think they know we can do this without needing that contribution.
Bob mentioned before the 4 seniors last year, and you got a good crop of seniors for this year. What do you expect from them this year? I mean, they're gonna shape the way this team plays, the way they act on and off the court.
Yeah, and it's about getting better every single time you step on the floor, and I think that's what the seniors last year did, and that's why you're so proud of kids at the end, like an Ava Ruggiero, who starts out as a freshman, and you're like, we don't really know what this kid is going to be in 4 years. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of people like that have just blossomed because they came in and they worked hard, at a practice like this every single day. And it's just like, by the end of it, you're like staggered by the amount of growth that you're seeing. So I think all of our seniors have done that and exceeded expectations. Now it's just a matter of realizing it on the floor for their senior year of basketball.
Yeah. Going into this season, I know obviously it's early. You really just kind of establish for sure who's going to be on the team and who isn't, and that might be somewhat flexible. I'm sure throughout the year, unfortunately, we'll probably have some injuries or whatever. What do you see as the biggest thing or the most important thing to work on, or like, if you will, like sort of the Achilles heel with this team? What might be our weakness, or what is it that you want to really drive home?
Yeah, I think for us, the weakness in years past has been our inability at times to finish possessions and rebound the basketball. And over-reliance on a one-shot possession, not being able to get offensive boards, right? So I think the strength of this team this year is our ability to work on the offensive glass. And I think that's a game changer. I think if you now all of a sudden are getting 2 or 3 shots on a possession, you're giving yourself a much greater chance of winning a game, especially if you're able to be a better defensive. So we're a bigger team. We have really great post depth, which is not anything that anybody's ever said about a Goffstown school basketball team,
Sure.
Right? So that's a strength. I think our challenges this year with a lot of youth, with a lot of inexperience, is how well do we do handling the basketball? How well do we do not turning the basketball over, right? With all those rebounds, we can't be giving away possessions. So that, I think, for me is like, if we can focus and not turn the ball over, more than 12 times a game, I think we're going to be okay in games.
I think one of the things I've admired as my daughter played through the system is that you've developed this family atmosphere from the time the girls are freshmen through their senior year. And I think that the family really extends to your assistant coaches. And we don't give them enough credit during the year. But as we're out there watching practice tonight, to see them involved with the practice, interacting, instructing, kind of talk a little bit about your assistant coaches and their role that they play in this development.
Yeah, and part of that, I mean, you develop those bonds, when you work together for as long as we have. Coach Bracey and I have worked together since I got here 8 years ago. He's been in the program longer than I have. Coach Cass has been with us for 6 years. Yeah. So over time, you build those relationships and so much trust. I mean, they run the show at this point in our situation. I mean, Cass is really running our workouts, our in-season conditioning, our out-of-season conditioning. Bracey does a lot of our X's and O's. He's constantly, even when we're not having practice, he'll send me something on Twitter at 10 at night, so the fact that I think we have those bonds and those relationships and they extend beyond the court always makes things easier when you're trying to get down to business, because you've got all of those communication pieces already hashed out. And that they have elevated us, our assistant coaches, and now with Scott Brannon helping us out, has elevated us to another level. So can't thank them enough, because it allows me to kind of more manage, and there's coaching going on, but they're doing a lot of the individual coaching.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it up because I just felt, we get to talk to you after every home game, and we put you on the hot seat. But it's a much bigger team, and behind the scenes, they do a heck of a lot of work for the program.
Absolutely, and then beyond that, they're the ones that are also developing our younger kids too, and working with the JV and the fresh. So, the absolute, in terms of hours, the worst job you could ever have is being a JV or freshman basketball coach, because you're working all the time and you're making very little money, but they come back every single year and there's never a question about it. So can't say enough.
Yeah, well, I think today, again, we saw a lot of that too. And we've talked during the season about bringing in the assistants at some point. Yeah. And we should probably do that after a game one of these times.
Different perspective,
just a different perspective and see what that's like.
And give you a break every once.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Any other?
No, I think.
Okay, this is good. Coach, we're looking forward to a very exciting season. You're gonna have the Bob and Rob show covering it again, and
best in the business.
Well, I look at it that way. I think we are. Jen, we're gonna kick it off to the studio, and we're gonna have some player interviews with some of the key players for this year's team. So, kicking off, back to Jen.
Thank you, guys.
Well, Goffstown, we are back, and we are back at the preseason preview show, I guess. And we're here with one of the upcoming, hopefully, stars again on this team, Maggie Sasso. Captain, 4 year? You 4 year starter?
4 year,
you
yeah.
played all 4
year
years
starter.
on the team. So I can't believe it. It feels like last season just ended a few weeks ago, and here we are jumping right back into a new season.
Yeah.
Your senior year. So let me ask you this. I mean, I think last year's team was really special on and off the court.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you see, or what do you see as your responsibility for keeping that kind of off the court camaraderie kind of going the way it was last year, where it was really a family?
Right, yeah. So over the summer, we did a lot of summer league stuff, and I made sure to not hold a hard line on them just yet, and kind of just make connections with them and show them that they have someone to come to as an upperclassman, so that when it gets to this point where we're in the season, that they trust me, and then I can now hold a hard line.
Oh, she's got a plan, Bob.
Did you tell her the questions?
I did. I gave them all ahead of time.
I told you we wanted to catch her up.
So with this 4 years worth of varsity experience and being heavily involved and contributing for 4 years, what have you learned over these 4 years?
I think the biggest thing I learned was how to be a leader. As a freshman, I had those seniors who showed me, and then I had seniors again to show me, and seniors again, and they all had different perspectives that showed me how to lead now as a senior.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable in that leadership role?
I'm a little bit nervous for sure, but I think I'm prepared for it at this point. So.
But I already see a maturity. I mean, we got to interview you several times last
Right,
year after
yeah.
game, and this vibe, a maturity, like I'm
Good.
ready. So you got me fooled. I don't know if you ever.
Perfect.
I noticed it a little bit in the practice
Yeah.
too. I thought,
Okay.
this was the first time, as long as I've been following the team, I don't think I've ever showed up for practices before.
True.
A lot of times I've gotten early and watched the guys warm up and stuff like that. Obviously, I've seen almost all of your games in your 4 years. But in the practice, I felt like, you looked like you were sort of a commanding presence out there.
Good. Yeah.
So that's all a good sign. I think
Yeah.
a lot of leadership is just sort of experience and how you carry yourself.
sure,
So
yeah.
I'm not worried about you doing that. But let me ask you this. What do you look like, what do you feel is your biggest role with this team on the court going forward? I mean, what do you think your main responsibility is going to be?
I think just like to show them the ropes, kind of like they're all like today at practice, like a big thing was like learning the plays. So really just to get them like prepared, not just for this year, but for the next year too.
What about in games though?
Oh, like-
court, in games, what do you look at? What do you think your biggest
Like-
responsibility will be? Like game time?
Oh, like me personally?
Yep.
Oh, I would say making sure to be able to score just because all these kids are new, they're nervous with the ball in their hands, so it would be important for me to show them that like it's important to score and just to like set that precedent early so that people know that I'm a threat for like going forward.
Is there something you had during the off season that runs through your mind, or even preseason? There's one thing that Maggie needs to work on for your own game, not a team, trait, but
Right,
something
yeah.
that Maggie needs to improve on to help this team win.
I would say confidence. Like there's some times where I'll like hesitate or like, and everyone always tells me like my first step is always so quick and it's
It
always
is.
so good when I'm confident. So definitely build up my confidence as now like the main scorer of the team to really like succeed because everyone says my first step is so good.
It is. We've said it many
Well,
times.
I'm
know.
sure you guys have said it.
No, I can always tell what kind of game you're going to have. Usually it comes out early,
Yeah,
and if
yeah.
things seem to go well and you're confident, and I notice like if you get frustrated,
Yeah.
then the
Goes-
shots stop
yeah.
going in,
Yeah.
and that is see, that's the maturity too.
It
We
is.
didn't know.
Yeah. It's happening. It's
See,
happening.
I knew she could do
There
it.
it is.
He didn't have any faith. I had faith. I knew
Happens,
you could do it.
happens.
I knew you could do it. So scoring, we know, is going to be, I think, it's not going to be, let's say it's not going to be a strong suit with this team, I don't think.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I hope I am.
I hope you are too.
So scoring is something, but if you're not scoring as much or as often as
Yeah.
we did last year, because we don't have that Ava to kind of count on to put in that shot when
Yeah,
we really
definitely.
need it. Defensively, what are we going to talk about with the younger players coming in, and what are you and some of the leaders on the team like Mayor and Penny and stuff going to work on to make sure defensively we're not giving up a lot of points?
Our freshmen are actually like, I would say their strongest thing is defense. So that's really helpful as like a non-scoring team. They all are great rebounders. They're all pretty tall. They have good size and they're athletic. So I would just say like, honestly, the defense, I'm not too worried about as of right now, I would say.
Good.
So,
All right, well, we want to have a fun question too. So,
okay, yeah, lighten
let's-
it up.
Non-basketball. So give us a little bit insight about Maggie. What does Maggie like to do for fun?
Yeah, the
Oh.
fans want to
Yeah,
know.
the fans
We've been
wanna
hearing
know.
a lot
For fun?
endlessly.
We get a
They
lot
wanna
of
I don't know if I
about
have
Maggie.
any fun.
I mean, second to the questions we were getting about Taylor Swift, they wanted to know about Maggie.
Yes.
With Taylor Swift?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big Taylor Swift fan.
Well, I know,
Oh,
you're a
oh.
Swiftie, but most people are. But the thing is
Are you a
that
Swiftie?
No, my daughter is. America wants to know
Yeah.
what Maggie says.
Yeah.
So what makes her
Like-
tick?
I don't know, guys. Like
Well, outside of
what
basketball.
I do outside of
What do you
basketball.
do for fun? You want to have a relaxing night, or
I really, actually, this is gonna sound really lame, but I really like to stay in, like at my house and just like watch movies.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my favorite
Well, what
thing.
kind of movies do you watch?
I don't know. Like my family is big into movies. Like we love The Hunger Games. I don't know if you guys saw the new
I haven't
The
seen
new-
the new
I
one.
heard
the new
it's
one,
My
but it's
daughter's making
really
me watch
good.
the other ones. We're
Yeah,
on,
you
we're on
have
the
to.
last one.
Okay,
We have it
perfect.
recorded and we're going to move on.
But yeah, that's a big one for us. And then like we love 80s movies just because my mom grew up watching them. But yeah, I'm a big movie watcher.
It's fair enough. Yeah.
Okay. So she's a couch potato.
Yeah.
I mean,
what
if
we
you
look
put
at.
it that way.
That's
Well,
a
you
girl
might
right
need-
after her own heart.
Might need some rest after the practice today. There was
There
a
we
lot of
go.
Oh
running.
my
and-
gosh.
You will.
Oh
Yes.
my, oh my.
Well, Maggie, we're looking forward to an outstanding season. I think no matter what, it's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to working with you guys again and seeing you play. I think, speaking for Rob, we've excitedly have watched you sort of blossom over the years, and we're looking forward to you taking that next step, sort of that
For
last step as
Right,
you
yeah.
go into your senior year. So it should be exciting. And what we're going to do is sign off, and we'll be back to the studio with Jen, and we'll be on with another interview.
Welcome back. We're joined with a second guest for tonight. Penny is here. Welcome, Penny.
Hello, hello.
Hello, welcome. This is a big season for you,
Yes.
big season for this team. So kind of give us a little preview, what you've seen so far with tryouts and practices, how you're feeling about this year's team.
I am very excited. This is going to be a good year. I'm so excited to be senior. It's always been a dream to be like kind of in charge on a basketball
It's always been a
team.
dream to be a senior.
Well, like you get to be like more of a leader, and I always love being like helping people out. And this team is going to be like young, but I have a good feeling that especially during tryouts, like everybody worked so hard and everybody did like so good. And I'm just so excited to be able to watch the freshman team, the JV team, and the varsity team is going to do really well this year, I think.
Awesome. What is your leadership style like?
I just think everybody needs to be hyped up and everybody just needs to have that personal confidence. And so if it's me screaming that you're doing fantastic, even if like you stumble with the ball or something, like everybody needs to be just hyped up. And I feel like I would love to do that this year and just be kind of the hype person.
Good.
Well, it's good. It's almost like she had a sneak peek of her questions, too.
I know.
Because-
Did they get our questions
I
ahead
know,
of time?
we were going, 'cause one of the things I was going to ask you is how do you see yourself this year contributing sort of to that camaraderie and sort of, I mean, there was a special dynamic, I thought, last year that
Yeah.
made the team, fun to watch, not only from a competitive standpoint of being on the court and
Right.
watching you guys play, but just all you girls together all the time. And, I've run into some of you guys at Buffalo Wild Wings and all these different places
Yeah.
and stuff like that. How do you see yourself contributing to that part of sort of your role on the team as a senior?
Right. I just feel like being able to connect with everybody, because I know we have young teams. Like we have a few freshmen, and we have like definitely a different dynamic than we did last year. But I feel like just like being able to like get to know people on your team outside of the sport is definitely going to be a lot of fun. So I definitely see pasta parties in the future. But stuff like that, just connecting with everybody on the team and trying to get to know each other on and off the court is definitely going to be a big thing for me, I think.
I noticed we were at practice earlier, and I noticed that the team looks like there's a little more height,
Yep.
maybe a little better presence inside, and
Yeah.
you're part of that. So tell us about how you look to score inside the paint, the rebounding. How's that looking?
I'm excited. I got my friend Elle Malone back, so
Yes.
I am so excited
The
because
dynamic duo
yep,
down
Twin
low.
Towers
Yeah,
are
that's right.
back. I'm excited because we're gonna be able to get those offensive rebounds, and I feel like we're gonna have a lot of more second chances than we did. Not that we didn't have any second chances last year, but like this year we have like strong designated people that are going to be able to like fulfill that this year, and we have a lot of like underclassmen and a lot of people that are going to be able to like see that and like contribute to that a lot. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Good.
We talked a little bit with the coach, a little bit about like last year you had sort of that dependable scorer with Winterburn, Ava out there, putting up 25, 30, 40 points a night some nights. Obviously, we're not going to replace that with only any one person. How do you see yourself evolving or developing yourself offensively where where do you feel you're going to be able to contribute the most to this team on that, or what's your sort of strategy for that?
Right. I am going to have to suck it up a little bit and not be scared because I feel like last year I love all of the Avas and I loved everybody on the team. And I feel like I got to sit back and watch, but this year I really got to step it up as a player and really try to contribute myself into the points, not just giving passes and good passes and try to get other people to get the points. It's really just going to have to come down to everybody's individual, like, you have the ball, you have an opportunity in taking it. So I definitely think it's going to be one of those where you just take the chance that you're given when you're down low, get the rebound, put it right back up, like stuff like that. Like I definitely think it's going to be one of those seasons.
Oh, that's good.
Second chances.
Yeah, I'm having this moment, so I remember watching Penny when they were in middle school.
Oh yeah.
So the girls have come a long way, but she played with my daughter in middle school, and then, of course, when they got here in high school. So I've watched you evolve, but kind of tell us how you think you've evolved as a player over those 5 or 6 years since I saw you in middle school.
Oh God, yeah. I feel like,
She's gotten taller.
She did get taller.
I got taller. Definitely turned more into a post. I thought when I started playing basketball that everybody wants to be like the person in charge of the ball, but I feel like I've learned to like my passing and my understanding that I'm not going to be the only one who has to score. Like I feel like I relied on that when I was little, and now I'm like growing into you can rely on your own skills and trying to do better at different things like my post moves and like things like that. Like I don't know, I feel like I have to grow into more of my height and using that, but something like that.
Now, is that something you worked on in the off season? I mean, what did you put the most work into, or what did you feel that you, Penny, needed to improve upon coming into this year?
Probably just my mentality, mostly because I do play 3 sports, so I'm always got something. But the one thing I have in common is my height and my jumping ability. So I definitely am trying. I tried to gear myself during the volleyball season to also remember that not only do I have to hit hard in volleyball, but I also got to get high enough to get those rebounds and get high enough to be able to put stuff back up for basketball. So I'm trying. I think I tried to mostly to remember that I have to be a big this year, like not Ava Winterburn big, but had to try to be one of those rebounding and getting putbacks and second chances for our team.
Penny Annis, big.
That's right. That's right. All right. This is the question that stumped your teammate Maggie.
Right.
So
it's not hard to
it's
solve.
not hard. But so give us a glimpse. What is Penny like outside of sports? You're a 3-sport athlete, but what do you do for fun? What do you like to do on the weekends when you don't have a game?
I am an outdoorsy person. Okay. I like to be outside. I love snowboarding, so I will also be doing that during basketball.
Be safe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I did that last season too. But yep, I'm definitely an outside person.
Okay.
I like to do all of the outside stuff. But
good. Well, you did better than Maggie. So we stumped her. Yeah, we stumped her.
Yeah, Maggie had no idea.
I know.
I don't know what I like. Well, then she came up with something.
Yeah.
So that's good. All right. So Penny, we're looking forward to seeing the season. This show will air just before the first game. We're going to slide right into it,
nice.
so it'll be cool to watch. And again, we're signing off. Back to the studio. We'll have one more interview for you guys before we wrap up this show up. Hello, Grizzly fans, and welcome back to our studio show, our preseason studio show of how the Lady Grizzlies are shaping up this year. We're here with Meredith Winterburn, one of our starters from last season, one of the people we're going to be looking at as a key player for this team. So let me ask you, Mare, we talked to some of the other players, Coach Largy, whatever. Let me ask what you feel or what you see as being your role on the team this year. Obviously, you're going to be looked at as leadership. You're not going to have your big sister to help you, so you're on your own. So what are you looking at as being your role?
I'm really looking to kind of make contributions from everywhere this year. I know last year a lot I focused on kind of like being that defensive kind of like, I don't know, just always having the effort on the defensive end and just playing my role on the offensive end. This year I'm looking to step up more on offensively and look to score, but still keep that defense up and rebound. I really need to rebound this year. And I'm just looking to be a leader too, everywhere, on and off the court. Yeah.
How are you going to be a leader?
Well, we have a lot of younger people this year, and I know as an upperclassman I just need to step up and let everybody know like what their roles are and also help them with that. And I like to dictate a lot of things. Like I don't
That's true.
well, like I mean,
Even to us.
well, like talking on offense, letting people know where they're supposed to be. On defense too, just having people move around, kind of just step up there and let people know where they should be, I guess.
I think you're right on about contributing in many different ways during the game. We watched practice earlier, and we noticed that you're going to have to find a way to probably score in different ways. You had the advantage of some seniors from last year that aren't with us anymore, one being your sister, that they could score. They were scorers.
Right.
How does Meredith contribute offensively this year?
I'm really, really, really looking to get to the basket and use my size to my advantage this year. I feel like I've played very timidly in the past, and I'm looking to change that and use my size to get downhill. Yeah, I mean, getting rebounds, putting boards back up, and I really just use my size because I have good size, and especially in my position where I'm going to be on some smaller guards and they'll be on me, I can use my size against them.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Very true.
Last year, we talked to the coach about this, and I think we mentioned it to both the players, but last year's team had that sort of special dynamic with the three Avas and the Caroline, kind of leading the way. And when I say that special dynamic, I'm talking like off the court, the kind of camaraderie that you girls, I really felt you guys had. More of a family type of thing, and you could feel it just being around you girls as often as we were. We knew that there was a lot of that. How do you feel that you can do that with this year's team, or keep it going, or do you see that developing now with this team?
I really like the squad that we have this year because it's a lot of returners. I think we have the ability to be a family like we were last year, and I think our seniors this year are very good and very, very kind and very, they want us to all be together. Like, the togetherness is, very, very, very important to how we play on the court. So I think that we need to have that family, and I think that just being together in practice and lifting each other up in practice is going to help us get there in the games. And just spending time off the court together.
Yeah, because last year I felt that, there was a lot of, I've seen a lot of teams over the years, but I felt last year was a lot of you girls were rooting for each other, really seemed to be rooting for each other. It wasn't just like, oh, she's on my team, I'm going to root for her. There seemed to be that genuine togetherness type of thing. I didn't notice, I know in seasons past there were certain players who didn't get along that great outside basketball. Last season I didn't feel there was any of that. For what one practice is worth that Rob and I watched today, it looked like there was a lot of that camaraderie going. So the goal is basically to keep that going. Right?
Yeah. I agree with you. I don't think we had any problems with each other last year, and if there was a problem, it was resolved because of the way that we were so tight with each other. We could talk through things instead of resenting each other. This year, I do see a lot of that. We are continuing our family from last year. We're adding a couple new people, but these new people are open to that. They're not scared of being together. Everybody, we want the same goal. We want to do well this season. And so using that to kind of conjoin ourselves is going to be great. And I think already we have some good connections from the preseason with our younger players that we can continue on into the season and just kind of form that one big whole family.
We saw quite a few new faces tonight at practice. So how does Meredith kind of pull those younger players under her wings? What do you teach them? What kind of advice can you give them?
The biggest thing for me is effort. A lot of people will tell me that I have a motor that doesn't stop, and it's just mental. It's your effort. And the biggest thing as a freshman, when I was a freshman, was kind of proving myself by trying. And so what I want the younger kids to do is just try, because that's the best thing that they can do in order to gain respect from upperclassmen, from coaches, from other teams. And I just want everybody to play their best game. They're on the team for a reason. No one needs to be scared to play. No one needs to think that they're not good enough because they've made the team. And that's like the most important thing for the younger people to understand is they belong here.
What impresses me right now is that we've had a chance to watch you for a couple years. Bob's been doing this longer than I have, so you've seen some of these girls at the high school level longer, but I'm so impressed by your maturity right now and the things that you're saying. Like, the last season wasn't so long ago, but we're already seeing you develop and the others develop that we talked to earlier.
Take over that leadership.
Yeah, that leadership role. So it's really neat to see, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. Look, one more basketball question, then we'll get to sort of a fun question. But obviously, I think offensively, it's going to be a different look team than last year.
Oh, yeah.
And you mentioned earlier, touched on it a little bit, that offensively, you have to contribute a little bit more. What are some of the things that you're looking to do different from last season to help you contribute more offensively to this team?
I think I like to move off the ball a lot. So when I don't have the ball, I'm setting screens or I'm cutting or I'm just helping people move around. And I think that that's going to open up opportunities for myself as well as other people. And offensively, I just want to make sure that I can look for the open people instead of have my head down all the time. Because I feel like I can get there sometimes when I have the ball, I can just have my head down and it's like basket or it's like go somewhere. I want to be able to have like an open scope for everybody and just finding the open shot versus taking it for myself if I have the opportunity, if it's guarded, I guess.
Good. We have one non-basketball type question, and we have to admit, Bob and I get a lot of fan mail. People,
Of course.
we have followers all over the country, apparently.
All over the world.
The world.
Talk about-
My
We're
dad right
international, baby.
Yes, I've run into your grandfather in Keene, and he told
yeah.
me he tunes in. So, but kind of give our fans who watch a glimpse of who Meredith is. What outside of basketball, what do you like to do for fun?
Yeah, what's Meredith Winterburn like?
I know.
At her
Alright.
core.
The fans want to know.
The fans want.
If the fans really want to know, I'm a student. I'm a student athlete, I guess. So I do a lot of school when I'm in. There is no free time, I guess. It's school.
I
It's
forgot.
basketball.
She's super smart.
Yeah, she is.
Well, I don't want to brag about
I almost
that.
forgot
but you
about
should.
it.
I just
No,
mean
but
that,
I you
like-
know what? I almost
But you still
forgot.
have fun doing something.
I do. I really like to go to the gym.
Okay.
That's like my.
Figures.
That's like.
Rob and I do too, can't you tell? Jim's our best friend.
God.
Jim who?
I love to go to the gym when I can, when I have free time, because like it's kind of like my escape, I guess. I like to read sometimes, and yeah, I really just do a lot of school when I'm not playing basketball. I like to spend time with my friends. That's my favorite thing to do, probably. I like to go to the beach. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
You know, like I said, I've told you earlier and told the fans out there, this interview or this preseason preview is going to lead right into the Goffstown season for our Lady Grizzlies. So we're looking forward to a good season. Should be an interesting season. This is going to be a transitional season. So we're excited to see that. We're excited to see what kind of basketball you bring. I have a feeling this will not be the last time we're interviewing you.
Let's hope not.
We're still
hope
going to do
not.
our Rose Between Two Thorns segment at the end of each game. And I'm sure you will be the Rose on several occasions. So we are going to sign off for now and lead right into Goffstown Grizzly basketball live from the Grizzly Den.
Good evening, Goffstown, and welcome back to the Goffstown High School Gymnasium, the Grizzly Den, where the Lady Grizzlies are going to actually not kick off the season. This is the second game. I'm Bob Bartolucci. I am joined here by my esteemed colleague and friend, Mr. Rob Foreman. How you doing tonight, Rob?
Good, Bob. You two together.
Yes.
The new and improved 2.0 version of us is better, I think.
This is exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're not going to be in our full glory tonight.
No, we're going to work our way into that.
We have a skeleton crew. We're a little short-handed, so basically there's only going to be one camera angle here. One camera is going to be kind of filming everything for us. We're a little down on the GoPros and stuff like that, so we need more people to volunteer, particularly kids at the high school. If any of you guys are watching this game, let's volunteer and work for GTV, and you too can be announcers for different sports. You're not taking Rob's job or my job, but you can. There's a lot of other things you guys can do. That's right. You can run cameras. So we got a big season kicking off, and well, Rob, what do you think? How do you think this team's going to look?
Well, you know, we have the little pregame show ahead of time, and we had a chance to sit down with Coach Martin and a couple of the girls the other night, and I think it's a different team than this year, and we're losing a big score in Ava Winterburn. We do have her sister back. We have Maggie Sasso. We have Penny inside. It's going to be a little more balanced, I think, this year than it was last year. But it's a young team that came out opening night in BG. What we heard from Coach Larby, they played well. And I think they shared the ball. And Maggie was leading the score at 21 points.
22, I heard, actually. Hey, Jen, whatever you did, you just turned us right off because I can't hear a thing. But anyhow, the point is that, just to let everybody know, and I don't imagine too many people tuned in ahead of time, but if you tuned in ahead of time, there was a preseason show this year where we interviewed Coach Largy. We also interviewed some of the kind of key players for this season's team. And GTV will be showing that before the next couple of games, so you get a chance to watch it, to sort of talk about those points you just made. Obviously, this is going to be sort of a different season. I think Coach Largy had an advantage the past couple of years, if you think about it. Two really legendary players, and it's not just for Goffstown, but female basketball to begin with. Two of the highest scoring players to ever play in the state of New Hampshire, when you went from Kelly Walsh to Ava Winterburn, and now without having that sort of, almost a sure thing, anywhere from 25 to probably 40 points a game scorer is not there. As Coach Largy made the point, we're going to have to make up for it throughout the rest of the team in aggregate.
And what we understand is the other night against PG, Ella was very solid down low. There was a lot of screening rolls, get to the basket. Maggie was able to drive to the basket. And it sounded like Meredith got to the basket and was fouled on several occasions to get to the line. So, again, if they're aggressive inside, get some three-pointers to fall, I still think it's going to be a fun year to watch the league.
Well, it is going to be a fun year. You don't have, obviously, that sure kind of leadership group that we had going into last year, where we were really a veteran team. We had the three Avas and the Caroline. But you still have a couple returning players who are now upperclassmen, and Maggie Sasso, so she's going to be probably counted on more than just about anybody else on this team, along with Meredith Winterburn, and Penny is going to be stepping up to take a much larger role on this team, right?
Absolutely, and we're going to learn a lot about some of the younger girls, baby girls. There's a couple freshmen on the team, so we're going to learn a lot about them early on. Coach Largy has high hopes to get them to kind of fill in and replace some of the pieces we lost last year.
And that'll be an important thing. And we got a returning player this year, somebody who took a year off, wasn't able to play last year, and Ella Malloran, yep. That should be interesting too. I understand she had a good game Tuesday night against BG. She should be fun to watch. I believe she is one of the starters tonight, so we are going to get to see that. And I think this team really is still, one of the things they have to depend on, and I think they did pretty successfully last year too, is the defense. How do you feel that we're going to have to come out defensively and play as the season goes on, not just tonight? What are you looking for from this team?
Yeah, I'm hoping that, the start of the season, they start to figure some things out defensively. They held BG to 37 points the other night. If you can hold teams to under 40 points, you're going to win some ball games. And I think the test will be the Bedfords, the Fort Smiths, the Exeters, those bigger squads. How well do we hold our own inside? How well do we defend the three-pointer? So this will be an early test for us tonight to see how we bounce back against BG. But I think it's a quick team, and I think they'll be excited.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I'm looking for. An exciting game, really an exciting season. I know the girls are pumped. They're convinced that they're going to have a good year this year. I can't see any reason why they won't, but I think they're going to have to play more mistake-free basketball than we have. Especially during certain points this season against certain teams, it's going to be a little more difficult without having those security blankets of a Walsh or a Winterburn to basically throw the team on their back and carry them.
I think I'm having audio issues. I can't hear a thing.
Yes, I know. Jen, we can't hear anything in our headphones, but anyhow, hopefully we're still going out live on the airways and people aren't hearing silence because we're hearing nothing at all. But anyway, we'll just keep talking this stuff up. As we're right now, we're watching both teams warm up. So let me ask you this, Rob, what do we know about this Spaulding crew and sort of tonight's task?
Yeah, it sounds like they're a young team. They matched up against Wyndham opening night. Lost 54-20, so had a hard time scoring. We just watched the JV game. Looks like they struggled to score as well. So young teams got to figure out how to get the ball in the bucket. See if they'll improve over what they had the other night.
Well, I think if the varsity game goes like the JV game, which we were here to kind of watch most of that, the JV girls handled the Spaulding crew pretty easily, winning by like 30, 35 or something like that. I think it'll be interesting to see how Coach Largy uses the bench or goes to the bench and what kind of changes he makes or if there's any sort of experiments. But we're also looking for some of the leaders on this team to be able to step up.
And we saw the three of them that we interviewed in the pre-season show. I think there's a couple of those younger girls that are going to step in. But what we did see is the determination they had, the drive. They were locked in. When we interviewed them in the pre-season show, the three of them were locked in.
I felt like they were really locked in. Yeah, I think we're back on our audio.
Yeah, we're
so
back
we'll just
on our
repeat everything we said the entire game.
We'll start from the beginning. Good evening. We'll start.
We're about to go through some starting lineups. You want to take the starting lineups?
Go ahead. I'll let you do it because you can see better than I can.
Well, I don't know if I can see any better than you, but Spaulding's going to start at number 20, Gabby Couture, and 23, Mackenzie LeBlanc. Number 31, Sydney Daly, and number 32, Kate McCauley, and then finishing out their starting five, number 34, Megan Yurkskovich. And they are coached by Scott Blake. Again, they are 0-1. They lost opening night to Wyndham, 64-20. So they're looking to bounce back tonight. And then for our hometown Grizzlies, leading off with number 1, Maggie Sasso. And then number 12, Ella, is the one we talked about. It wasn't here last year, but now back in the lineup is definitely going to be a presence inside between Ella and Penny inside. That's very exciting. Number 13, Abigail Estano. Number 15, Penny Annis. And then rounding out our starting five, number 21, Meredith Winterburn, coached by Steve Largy. High hopes. We're counting it down, but let's recap since no one could hear us before. I think.
Yes, at least we can hear each other now, so that's good.
Yeah, we apologize if we repeated ourselves because we couldn't hear each other.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I think the point was in our preseason show we did with the girls and coach, it was a very different feel from last year, but the three girls were locked in.
Yes,
very determined.
we were also fortunate enough, and of course in the background you can see Al, and he's doing the announcements, and he'll be doing the starting lineup. Again, because we're shorthanded, we don't have all the microphones to hand over to people to hear Al, so we're going to rudely talk over him anyway. But, you know, the thing is that we were fortunate enough, too, to come around before we did the pregame show to basically see a practice. We're both pretty impressed with the practice. I mean, the drills looked hard. I mean, I don't know. We were just sitting on the sideline. I was tired watching them.
I know. By the time we got to the studio, I needed water.
Yeah, but it's very tough. The girls are working really hard. I thought the practice and some of the drills were pretty intense. But there seems to be that good attitude, and I think one of the things that made last year's team so fun to watch, and I know it was exciting for both of us, not only because your daughter was on the team, but the thing is that it was a team that you had to like.
You did.
It was
the personalities.
The personalities. They were nice people. All of them genuinely liked and supported each other. They were always there rooting each other on, picking each other up when they were down. And I'm hoping, and one of the things we talked about in the pregame show with Coach Largy, because every team is a little different, it's going to be interesting to see how this team develops that same passion. I think with those three players, though, they have the drive to want to do that. They want to continue that on.
Yeah, and I felt like when we interviewed Maggie, she definitely felt the responsibility to make this team their own version of themselves, but at the same time, pulling together like last year's team, supporting one another. She talked about, they're having dinners together, going out. So some of the same things last year's crew did, they did this year. So I think she's bearing that responsibility as that senior captain, a 4-year starter as well, that she's trying to pave that way for the next group.
Yeah, and I think she even made the point, if I remember right, that she took a lot of that from the previous seniors and leaders of the squad. So she is taking it very serious. And I know Meredith Winterburn is from her, taking the torch sort of from her sister and feels a certain obligation to kind of carry on the Winterburn name and be able to have an impact.
That's right. I think we're going to step away for the anthem here for a second.
We'll probably tune out because they're going to do the national anthem, and there are copyright things and all this other stuff that they can't do. So we are going to rise for the anthem, and we will return within a minute or so. Back to being live, or maybe we were already live. Either way, this
Thank
is
goodness
a
you
learning.
didn't say anything you weren't supposed to.
Yeah, no, we got to be careful. That might be. Don't want to have a hot mic incident here at Goffstown. So we're anticipating a game in which the Grizzlies really should show some dominance early and take control of this game. And it'll be interesting to see how plays develop and really if we can get our ladies into a little bit of a rhythm here with scoring.
Yeah, and it sounded like the other night the emphasis early on was to go inside, get it to Penny, get it to Ella inside.
The outside shot's going to be there. Maggie's going to be able to drive to the basket. But if we can pound it inside and send a message early, I think that's what Coach Loggy would like to do again tonight.
Right, so Penny's going to take the opening tip-off. She won it back. So we got Megan with the ball now. Yurskovic. She sends it over to Kucher. Down outside for Macaulay. And put it up just off the back rim where Astano picked up the rebound. Feeds it out to Meredith Winterburn. Winterburn's working her way down the court.
Well, she got fouled on the way.
Yes, she did. It looked like she wanted to drive that in herself.
Yeah.
So red number 32, that is Kate Macaulay. So Winterburn's going to inbound this, looking for Sasso on the inside. And there is a whole pile of...
Oh, Maggie got the steal.
Yep, out to Winterburn to Penny Annis. Back out to Winterburn on top of the key. In the Stano, back to Winterburn. Over to Maggie. Sasso's going to scope it out. Over to Winterburn. Winterburn's bringing it in. Oh, Winterburn should have put that up.
Yeah, she was inside. She should have put that right up.
She drew another foul, yep. She's got to get more aggressive under the basket when it comes to shooting.
Mackenzie LeBlanc on the foul there. That's two quick fouls on Spaulding.
Meredith does look to pass first, but
Yeah.
this year she's going to have to do it a little different. When she had her sister to feed, it was one thing. She's got to do it herself. Maggie's going to go in. She had to back away. She goes up underneath. Oh, nice try. She put one up. So Spaulding gets the ball. So defensively, they hung on. So Megan Yurkovic works it in. Works it down low for Gabby Kucher.
Penny with the steal.
Now you got Winterburn coming back down.
That was a good look by Abigail.
Yep, Astano in the Penny.
Oh, great look.
And then, she got her own rebound. Yeah, so that's good. That was Ella.
Yeah. Yeah, that first pass was a dynamite pass. I'm glad she stayed with it and got her own rebound.
Nice shot, three-pointer by Megan Yurkovic. Here's Winterburn. She's driving in. She backs out. She has time. Takes a look. She's off the back rim. Goffstown's going to back out now as Yurkovic works it down. Yurkovic to Mackenzie LeBlanc. Back out to Yurkovic.
Look for Kate popping out on this.
And Goffstown's doing a good job of keeping it outside. Oh, Megan was going for the steal. Megan hit it away. I mean, Maggie hit it away.
Kate, you want Kate on this.
So Megan inbounds this over to Kate. Oh, Ella made a nice tip away.
Yeah.
Kate, always look in first, right? Force!
So Spaulding does appear a little less organized. I guess the problems that you have with a young team. Again, Ella tipped that away. Mackenzie tried to throw it, and that's out of bounds. So here's Winterburn. It's going to...
Yeah, Goffstown's playing really good defense, getting in the passing lanes, and it's really confusing Spaulding a little bit to start with.
But you also might be seeing a little bit of Achilles' heel with Goffstown as far as putting it up and scoring.
Yeah, good take, Maggie.
And Maggie took a good shot, just missed. Out to Winterburn. Tried to feed Ella inside. Meredith might have a little bit of time to move in with that ball.
Yeah, and it definitely looks like they're making an effort to get it inside again.
Well, there is more consistent size inside this year. Winterburn was sort of the main tall person we had. We do have a couple with Ella and Penny.
Yeah.
And both Penny and Ella, and even Meredith to a certain degree, I mean, they're both very athletic. All three of them are very athletic, fast, and they should be more aggressive under the basket. So that's going to pay off both offensively and defensively if they can use their size to their advantage.
I mean, we're going to have timeout by Spaulding here, so it looks like we're going to get a out-of-bounds play drawn up. 30-second timeout.
And we got 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It's a low-scoring game, like sort of we predicted, I think, 3-2. I would have liked to see Goffstown be a little more aggressive offensively.
Both teams trying to figure it out early.
Well, this is only game 2.
Yeah.
So this is to be expected. I think this is a good test to get a team that I'm glad we wouldn't have like Bedford or something rolling in. Tuesday night, it's too bad we missed it, but it was a pretty good game, and we don't too often get to celebrate victories over BG. So
That's right. The boys out.
We can only get better from here.
That's true. Once you lost our velvety voices on the airways, everything was downhill. But now we're back. Okay, so Maggie Sasso has got the ball, and she is working it up the court. She looks around.
Great spin move.
It was a spin move, and she put it up. And the Spaulding coach is getting a little frustrated.
Yeah, he's just yelling at the team about rebounding. They can't get a defensive rebound.
Dodge tried to inbound it to Penny. You want to see Penny playing aggressive. She's really got to use that size and strength to her advantage underneath. And really, anytime there's a fight for the ball.
It's 2 fouls on Penny.
Hey, Kansas, drop.
I mean, you don't want to get in a lot of foul trouble, but you want her to play aggressive. I think this team's going to really count on her throughout the season. Spaulding tried to go in for a layup, and that was number 11, Ellie Averill. Just missed that one.
You know, the one advantage if Penny's in trouble, you have Ella on the sideline getting ready to check in. Oh, good take on Maggie.
That was really nice by Maggie Sasso. Nice layup there underneath.
Everything we talked about yesterday.
Obviously the leader on the team, both offensively and defensively. Everything's going to key around Maggie this year. Oh, Penny underneath. Oh, I think they're going to call that, though. I think they're going to call that on Reese. 22,
yeah.
Reese still.
And what Coach Hauge mentioned to us before the game started was he was impressed with Maggie's conditioning night one. Said she played almost every minute in the opening night. She's the ball handler. She's going to control this offense. So,
and she was the leading scorer.
She was. So, like you said, things are going to go through her, and she's going to take this team on her back at times.
Well, and then that's going to be needed. She's going to have to step up as the leader, but she's going to have help. Underneath, Ella made a nice play helping Maggie out. We got Morgan Dodge in there.
And Morgan back from an injury.
Maggie takes another long three, and that looked like it was going to be good. It was just outside, just wide.
Go at it.
So we got Megan Yurksevich working her way down. Tries to feed it underneath for Delama Perkins.
Why are we watching it?
So we got Meredith Winterburn and Astano working their way back in the game, replacing Morgan Dodge and
Maggie. Sasso. Yeah.
So Maggie will get a little
just
break.
as I said, she's going to play all these minutes. They take her out.
Yeah, well, of course.
But a good chance. You're up 14. Get her.
I arranged that to make you look bad, just so I look better. So the worse you look, the better I look. That's the way it's got to go. So Meredith Winterburn works her way down the court to Duff. Out to Still. Still looks around, back to Astano. Out to Duff on the point. Meredith is going to slow it down. She's kind of directing traffic here. Spaulding is noticeably better defensively now. They're clogging up the paint. Abigail tried to work her way back in. To Meredith, out to Duff. Duff's looking to take a three, and just in and out the rim. Ella underneath, back out to Duff for a two. That's just off and out of bounds, and it's going to be Goffstown retains possession.
Hey, Coach Blake for Spaulding just keeps scratching his head. We need to get a rebound, Red. The ball goes up, and White seems to find every rebound.
So Winterburn's going to inbound this. She looks around back to Abigail Astano, out to Still back to Astano. Astano tries to work it in. She's met by two Spaulding players. Now Winterburn's got it over in Vaughn's corner. Remember Vaughn's corner?
See if someone else can pick up that corner.
Oh, great pass. Yeah.
Excellent.
Meredith Winterburn laid a nice pass to Ella. Now we got Megan working it back up for Spaulding. She's obviously the sort of the key player for Spaulding. Winterburn here, a little bit of a breakaway. Tried to feed Still. Oh, just out of bounds.
Just out of bounds. Yeah, good look by Meredith. Just a little timing was a little off, but a good look. Got a timeout by Spaulding here.
Spaulding, yeah. So it looks like certainly the second quarter is being played at a lot more pace than the first quarter was.
And I think Coach Hauge would rather play at that pace. He's used to it the last couple of years, but even with the girls on this squad, let's get the ball, let's run, rebound, and as we can hear Coach Blake from Spaulding just yelling about rebounding. So clearly they went over some things yesterday at practice, and he's a little frustrated.
Yep, he is a little frustrated, and obviously lack of scoring, so they still only got 5 points left over from the first quarter. And you know, when we were privileged enough to watch that practice a couple weeks ago, you know, we saw that was done with a lot of pace. And as you said, we were both tired after watching the practice. I do think the girls feed on this because they're used to it. Because Largy runs a pretty strict practice. It's the practices with pace, and these girls do run a couple of miles a night when they're practicing. So it's no wonder why they're in good condition. So they have to be.
Yeah, I would say the good. Maybe it was 45 minutes we were there. They didn't do any plays. It was just conditioning drills, run, move.
The shooting, playing back and forth.
Yeah, so, in Kentucky, and they put a lot of steps in.
Yep. So once again, it is Megan doing it all for Spaulding. Works her way in, gets her own rebound. Went from Mackenzie back to Megan, back out to Mackenzie. And they just really having a hard time penetrating the Goffstown defense. Goffstown's really keeping them all on the point.
Yeah, and they want to get that ball into the post, but the angle that they're using from the top of the key is a tough angle. If they can get somebody to slide out to the side, it's a little better on the entry pass.
Right. And, well, Goffstown's doing a good job basically getting their hands in there and blocking a lot of these passes. White, number 2, that's Duff. So that's Peyton's first foul. And now we're going to have Sasso back in for Duff. Duff did a good job. And we were wondering how Largy was going to play the bench a little bit. We figured he could work pretty much the whole bench in, I think, tonight.
I think we've seen 9 or 10 Grizzlies already.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's good if they can mix it up. That'll allow them to play with this kind of pace, too. Oh, again, a good rebound by kind of combined between Winterburn and Ella. Out to Sasso on top. Winterburn's going to go for a long 3 and just off the rim. That was really close. And we have Ellie back out to Megan. Again, Megan's got she's holding the ball, controlling it. Mackenzie tried to go inside to a dilemma, but
yeah, Maggie hit it right off her leg.
So Winterburn will inbound this. And we do, along with the fans that are here, we do have a number of the girls that are seniors from last year that are here tonight.
Sasso from the corner. A great rebound.
Great rebound by Still. Gets it out of the feed. Nice feed right into Ella. Down underneath the basket.
Ella does a great job getting position on that low post, and as the perimeter players drive, she's got her hands in position to catch that ball.
And she went straight up with it.
Yep. Don't think about it. Take it right up.
Yep. And she did, and Ella just did almost the same thing, grabbing that rebound. So Sasso comes out and slow this down. About a minute, 50 seconds here in the half. Still in the
another great pass.
Beautiful bounce pass into Ella right underneath.
Yep. We've seen that play before, that handoff play. That was nice.
So there seems to be more development now of plays. They seem to be kind of working a little harder at trying to do something, where in the first quarter it really was a little disorganized. Almost like we were with our audio.
Aiden's here to save the day, apparently.
Yes. So now we got a little more help. What a beautiful 3. I mean, she sets her feet and just puts that up. That was nice.
That gives her 12 already in the first half.
Look at that. So now you got Megan Yurskovitz again working it down for Spaulding. Over to Ellie. Over to Mackenzie LeBlanc. Out. Who took that shot? That would have been Kate McCauley. So Spaulding's going to make a wholesale
line change
at time.
That was Meredith Winterburn on the drive.
Right. So they'll have time to make a quick change for 40 seconds.
So Coach Blake calls a timeout and line
student, student, alumna, alumno, alumna, alumno, étudiante, étudiant, étudiante, étudiant,
alunna, alunno, alunna, alunno,
μαθητής, μαθητής,
学生、学生、
학생, 학생,
The Manchester Transit Authority strives to provide the best experience possible so that residents can feel comfortable while they ride with us. Before your scheduled ride, you will receive a reminder call the night prior, as well as 15 minutes prior to the bus arriving. Please be ready to board within 5 minutes from the time the bus arrives at your location. Your friendly driver will park the MTA branded vehicle as close to your door as possible, including in your driveway if able. All of our buses are comfortable and ADA accessible. If you need assistance, your driver will be happy to help you get from the door of your home up to and inside the vehicle. There is plenty of room for groceries on the bus. A small cart is allowed as long as it does not block the aisle. The Goffstown Shuttle is here to serve the needs of the Goffstown community. Give us a call today to schedule your first ride.
Okay, we're in. All right, hey, we're back, Goffstown Live, second half action. We're still having some audio-visual, little bit of problems. So we're gonna work out these kinks, promise. Games will get better as time goes on. Did we ever hear from Caroline to see if our sound got better?
I don't know. She probably switched over to Netflix at this point.
Oh, well, I don't know. That'd be a shame. She's not watching. She's not watching.
Or she's
listening
having
to
dinner
us.
or making Dad dinner.
Well, no. It's more important that she keeps track of what's going on here.
All right, so we'll see. What adjustments both teams made at halftime. Obviously, Spaulding came out here. The head coach hasn't spoken to the girls since they got back out here. The assistant has.
Right. They're sort of having a meeting now.
Yeah. So we'll see. We don't know what happened in the locker room, but We'll find out really quick if they picked up on what he wants them to do.
Yeah, well, and obviously what they count on is everything feeds through Megan Yershkovich with them.
Yeah.
And right now we're going to have Sydney Daly inbounding it to Spaulding. Spaulding will have control. And again, 5 points that they only got in the first quarter, so second quarter no scoring. So Grizzlies probably, hopefully more of the same. So Megan works it in underneath, and it's tossed up by, who is that one? Oh, Mackenzie. It's underneath with a sea of Grizzlies, and Gabby Kuchar put it up. Even though she had 3 Grizzlies on her, she put it up underneath the basket. So Spaulding moved off 5 to 7. Sasso again scoping things out. She'll dribble around underneath the basket.
Gabby's one they want to get in the game. She had 8 points in the opening night, so that was her first bucket tonight. I think they're going to want to dump in more to her and see if she can get some points inside.
Sasso goes for another 3, just outside. And coming away with it for Spaulding is Kate McCauley. And she feeds out to Mackenzie, back out to Megan. Megan over to Mackenzie LeBlanc. Megan back to Mackenzie. Mackenzie on top of the point. Penny Annis is all over her. Hard for her to move in. To Gabby. Gabby throws an interception to Maggie Sasso. Maggie just off the backboard, side of the backboard. Ooh, Sasso with another steal. Over to Penny underneath the basket. And she sort of did a jump instead of a sort of a layup.
And Penny's one we got to get going. She was pretty quiet in the first half. She's picked up her third foul there. Some of that, I think, is she just gets aggressive and just gets a little upset with herself and
we got to get her to use controlled aggression.
Yes.
And maybe what she needs to talk to is Ava Ruggiero, the queen.
The queen.
Controlled aggression. So, ooh, another foul. So that's on
Ella.
Ella. That's her first, though, I think, right?
Yeah, that's her first. Penny's going to check out here with her third foul, and Reese Still reports in.
So again, Largy's done a good job of pretty much utilizing most of the bench, I think. So underneath, we have Gabby Kuchar tried to put one up again like she did before. This time it went right off the front of the rim. Meredith Winterburn feeds Maggie out on top of the point. She steps back for more room. Oh, puts a nice shot up. That was in and out of the basket. Megan Yershkovich works her way back in, slowing it down for Spaulding. And back to Mackenzie. And the coaches really wants them to feed it underneath. But right now, there's 4 Grizzlies under there.
It's tough.
I think at this stage, Spaulding probably should be just taking more shots. I guess it's hard when you're not scoring, though. But feeding underneath isn't always easy to do. Grizzlies are creating a wall. They definitely not only look faster, they look bigger.
Yeah.
Winterburn up the corner, nice field. Abigail Stano put one up.
Good box out.
Yep.
So that was Sydney Daly with that box out. A long rebound, boxed out.
Feeds Megan. Oh, almost intercepted by Stano. And again, Spaulding is on the perimeter.
But looking to pound it into Gabby down there.
And Gabby turned around and put one up. But I am impressed with the Grizzlies right now defensively. They're doing a good job of keeping Spaulding to the outside. Winterburn, she's trying to work it underneath. She does the still out to Astano on the point. Astano's going to work in for a layup.
And one.
And, yep, she drew a foul, so she'll have a chance to make this a 3-point play. Red 2-0, that's Gabby Kuchar. That's her first. I thought it might have been her second. So, Astano will have a shot here. Abigail. And just a little wide.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It didn't even hit the rim. It's supposed to be a violation.
Winterburn. Oh,
That's a good look by Winterburn. I'd like to see that pass a little bit higher for Ella so she can catch it and take it up instead of at her ankles.
Right. Oh, Winterburn's going to get a push.
That's only her first.
She did put her hands up on her. We're not going to get, when the score is this lopsided, the refs are going to be watching it. They're not going to give us any extras. So it was a violation.
It was.
Again, Sasso's got the ball, and she sort of got a
Great
breakaway.
pass.
Feet still. Oh, still tried to lay one up. Just missed. Now Winterburn with the ball, and with Ella helping, they kept that, so they have a backcourt violation.
Oh, great ball movement.
I saw Sasso pass it. Wasn't sure if she passed it too, because the refs.
Reese, yeah, she passed it to Reese.
Ooh, Sasso with another three. Oh, just outside. Winterburn gets the rebound. Again, they missed, but Ella came up with the rebound, and she drew a foul. So Spaulding's just having a tough time in all levels. So Kate McCauley drew that foul, and that'll put Ella on the line.
And the Grizzlies just outworked them on that possession. I mean, 3 or 4 or 5 maybe shots.
Well, you hear Largy saying it a lot. That defense is really about work and effort, the effort thing. So Castano checks out, and checking back in for the Grizzlies is number 23. That's Kaylee Caps.
Ella hits the second. Gives her 7 points on the night.
That's solid. And that was
Kaylee Caps. That's her third. That's a tough, 18 feet away from the basket, hitting somebody on a shot. So
again, we're not going to get any of the calls going our way when the score is like this. So Ellie Averill will go to the line for Spaulding. And they're up to 9. They're almost doubled their output from the first half. And she couldn't.
Yeah, she made the first one.
Made the first one.
So that equals, yeah.
It equals what it took them the whole first half to do. She'll take her second shot. And she put that in too. That looks smooth.
Oh, so it was a three-pointer, yeah.
So it was a 3-point try. She didn't foul that shooter though. Was she getting called for fouling somebody underneath?
No, she fouled the shooter.
Okay, so you got Winterburn. Out to Sasso, back to Winterburn, going for a 3 just off the rim. And Kaylee kept that in back to Winterburn. Winterburn to Sasso. Sasso tries to work it in underneath. Throws it out, but that's a giveaway to Spaulding, where Avery got it.
Out of bounds.
And I don't know who that went off of, to be honest.
I think she just threw it across the court and nobody was there.
So Sasso to Winterburn, back over to Sasso. Sasso tries to work it in, met by a couple Spaulding players. Feeds underneath to Still.
Ella with the rebound, back out to Meredith.
Over to Winterburn, Winterburn underneath, and she throws
Again,
a foul.
really good ball movement. Second chance, third chance.
And again, this is really about the Grizzlies right now are just outworking Spaulding. Spaulding is just doing a little too much watching and not enough really putting their hands up and playing.
Well, if you give a team 4 or 5 shots every time down the floor, it's going to be a long night.
Right.
I think that's what their coach was really alluding to earlier is that, okay, they get a shot up, but we're going to box out, we're going to get the rebound. They can only get 1 shot at a time.
Winterburn missed both of her free throw tries. So we got Megan Yurskevich working her way back up the court now. Around Winterburn and around Still, but I think Still drew the foul here. Yep, it's Still. That's her second, I think.
It is, yes.
So that's going to put Megan Yurskevich on the line for Spaulding.
Yeah, she had all the points in the first half, all 5.
This will be her
Good shot.
first point for the second half, right?
Yeah.
So she'll get a second attempt here. And she sunk them both. So 14.
Spaulding's putting a little press on.
And Coach Largy's going to call timeout so we can get around that press a little bit. You don't want to start getting sloppy now.
That's right.
And I think there was a little, I don't know, I think when you're ahead like this, there's going to be a little let up. So there seemed to be a little let up in the intensity, I think, at Goffstown. You can almost feel it here in the gym that,
Yeah.
you know, there's a little bit of let up for Goffstown.
Absolutely, yeah. Come out with a big deficit in the first half. Goffstown's ahead, and yeah, it's tough to get the motor running again. You know, it's not the pregame. You know, now you've come out of halftime, but I credit Spaulding. It came out and got a quick 9 points already this quarter. So yeah, they've hit 5 for 5 from the foul line.
Yep.
So we'll see if they can continue. You know, a couple good possessions. Where they're really struggling is on the other end, that defensive side, and not controlling the rebounds and just kind of giving us whatever we want
Every
down there.
opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think for the Grizzlies, it's about really creating good habits, you know, moving forward, obviously beyond this game. And again, this is only the second game of the season for some of these girls. And of course, this new team or version of the Grizzlies. So it's important that they establish those good habits here moving in as we move through the season. So Winterburn now is going to be inbounding this and out to Still here at the other end. So that's how they beat the press. Just throw over it.
Yeah.
Sasso over to Caps. Caps cross court to Winterburn. And you can see Goffstown's just slowing this down up front. Ooh. I thought that was a good play, actually, by Megan Yerskevich, but I guess she got a little too handsy with Sasso there on the point. So Winterburn's going to inbound this and backcourt it to Maggie. So Sasso's now working her way up the court, over into Winterburn, back out to Maggie. And this is what it is for the Grizzlies. Offensively, just slow it down and set up to get that good shot and just try to get a bucket so they can move out to Caps. Oh, Caps goes for a three off the front rim. Still.
Another rebound, yeah.
Out to Sasso. Sasso works it back to Winterburn. Winterburn's going to reset it. Out to Caps. Caps back to Winterburn. Over to Sasso. Tried to go in a little bit for Ella, but back out to Winterburn. And Spaulding's loading up in the paint, Rob.
Yeah, they went to
really
a zone.
Challenging.
Went to a zone on defense. And again, hard time getting that rebound and that change of possession here.
Well, and then Gabby came down with the rebound now.
It actually went from the man-to-man and then went into a 1-2-2 zone there. I think Goffstown got a little confused.
Well, for Spaulding, I mean, they had to do something different. But being in the zone when they're this far behind, does that make it easier, you think, for Goffstown to just kind of play with the ball at the perimeter? Because there is no shot clock here in high school.
Yeah, it definitely changes the pace of the game. However, if you're down this big, you've got to take some chances, put some pressure on them, maybe in a man-to-man defense, jump the passing lanes and try to get a steal. Good look.
Winterburn tried to go underneath for Maggie. It was a little too far and deep. Again, Megan got her hand on that one, almost broke up the play. Now you have Still out to Sasso. Sasso just inside, puts one up. She doesn't. Maggie, I think, is a little frustrated with the shot. Where they were all going in the second quarter, she's putting some shots up, but
and that's that one last year where that little 10-foot jump shot where she would hit that one frequently. So I think she's frustrated.
So it's really about staying positive, and this is part of creating good habits. Looks like Morgan Dodge is going to be checking in. So on the foul line is Ella. 36-14. There's 45 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Ella put one off the rim, and she's now going to take the second shot. Morgan Dodge comes in for Winterburn. It's good to have Morgan back when she's healthy. And
Yeah, she's
you know,
aggressive.
She's an aggressive, chippy kind of player.
And
Girls
she's one
afraid of nothing.
No. And she's one I'd love to see start to control the point and run the offense. Maybe free Maggie up on the wing.
Yep, a little bit. And we kind of, I think we're kind of looking for her to be, you know, to be that little spark plug. Ooh, fight underneath, and we're gonna call it jump ball. That's the call. You had Ella and Gabby both going for that rebound. So this will be Spaulding possession. So Megan Yurskovich is going to inbound this. She's looking for Gabby underneath, and she ends up feeding out to Mackenzie LeBlanc. Back into Megan Yurskovich. Sasso on her. Out to Mackenzie up at the point. Mackenzie's trying to work it in. Can't. Out to Sydney Daly. Back over to Mackenzie. Tried to feed Gabby inside.
Good save.
But Caps did a good job of intercepting that.
Oh.
And she
looked surprised, but it looked like she gave her a good body check across the middle.
Well, I think part of it was Megan jumping up to take the shot.
Yeah.
Sort of went into Caps, so it's a combination. Kaylee is another one I think Coach Largy talked about. That
He did.
He expects her to really be able to be a contributing factor to this team and be able to come in off the bench and you know, be one of those role players that we really need to play well. You know, last season when we were here, I seen her play a number of JVs. Both saw her play a number of JV games, and she was sort of the most dominant player you noticed on the JV team, or one of them. So that'll draw a close to the third quarter. Grizzlies still maintaining good control, but I think Spaulding certainly has to look at it that they're doing much better now than they were in the second quarter.
Yeah, they outscored us 12-3 that period. So if I'm Coach Largy over there, I tell them, let's not get comfortable, girls.
Right.
Forget the scoreboard. Let's do what worked in the first half. Let's move the ball, look for those good shots, because you don't want to let a team like this back in the game.
Right.
Put them away.
Another quick 12 points, they're right back in the game.
Yeah, exactly. They come out, make a couple baskets, and we struggle to score. Then you got a ball game. So Coach Blake over here at Spaulding, I think, is a little happier now than he was in the first half.
Well, he should be. I mean, his team's at least putting some up, and I think, again, Coach Largy is probably going to, like you said, stress on them to really start playing like we were earlier in the first half. I mean, certainly the pace slowed way down. That third quarter was much slower.
Yeah, very slow.
A little more painful to watch. Where, the second quarter was very fast. So the first quarter, I felt they were feeling each other out, both teams.
Yep.
I think there were a lot of mistakes, a lot of missed shots. Second quarter, Grizzlies started to play with a lot of pace. They started to score, and that's where they really went way ahead. The third quarter was slowed down, but that seemed to work for Spaulding because Spaulding played a lot better and were putting up more of their shots.
Absolutely. And the change in the defense where they went to the zone and they were able to just kind of slow our offense down.
So now you got Dodge. And Dodge to Penny Hannes. Out to Sasso. There we go. Sasso puts up, like you said, that 10-foot shot.
Yeah, I would have a few more plays in the playbook where she gets the ball off the dribble.
Another interception here by Sasso. I mean, she's really played really good defensively, too. She's been good on both sides of the ball. All right, so underneath for Gabby, but I think Penny might have drew this
picked up her fourth, yeah.
She felt like she just got back in the game.
She did.
Another one.
And I think, you know, when we get against those better competition teams, you know, I'm thinking about Bedford with their, you know, post players, is we need Penny to get her hands straight up in the air. Forget pushing somebody or putting your hands down. Just go straight up. Penny's tall. I mean, is she 5'10", 5'11"?
Oh, yeah. She's all of that.
Obviously, hands straight up. You're 7 feet in the air. Make somebody shoot over you.
Well, not only that, Penny's a volleyball player.
Yeah.
And she's got a good vertical leap.
She
so
really
she
does.
can get off the ground, and she's very athletic. Yep. She's strong. So, yeah, she's just got to hold her ground and just But that's part of the learning process to her, too. She's a younger player, so. So Sasso out to Caps. Caps takes a long three and hits it. That was a nice shot.
Yeah, good reversal on, Maggie on this side of the floor. Swing it over to Caps. Great open shot for 3.
That was nothing but net there. So now Spaulding's working it way back in. Blocked by Dodge. And they're feeding Gabby underneath. And they're going to call the Grizzlies on this again.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be Caps.
Still, no, I think it.
22. No, that's still.
Yeah.
So that's her third, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly there's a lot of calls. We're not getting any breaks on them either. Part of that is a result of the score. Part of that is
we're aggressive.
We're playing aggressive. It's out of
Got lucky on that one, I think.
Yeah, we did. So we're gonna. Grizzlies are gonna keep possession.
Spaulding's gonna stay in the press. Let's see if we can.
Here's Duff. Inbounds it to Sasso in a crowd out to Dodge. There we go. Got it up to Still. Back to Duff. Duff made a nice fake, and now she's in a sea of red.
Yep. Into double team.
Gave it up, and you got Ella. Oh, we got a whole bunch of girls on the floor now. Spaulding somehow got possession of this. Jump ball. So Spaulding's going to work this out with Sydney Daly. Over to Megan Yurskovich, who's working it down on Sasso.
Oh, good screen.
Good pick by Kate McCauley. And so you got Megan again, tries to work it in for Dalma. Out to Gabby, who almost lost control of that ball.
Coach wants a timeout.
So again, kind of a mixed pace here, right?
Yeah.
You know, still you can see that there's a little off with the Grizzlies. They don't seem to be as organized or like.
Well, Spaulding wants to change that pace. Yeah, they had the press on, and then when we were fortunate to break the press, they double teamed Peyton over here. So I think that's their game plan from this point out. Let's make it tough on them, make them uncomfortable. That first half, we got almost everything we wanted.
Right.
Five shots sometimes down the floor. So they're going to make it a little uncomfortable defensively.
Well, this is turning out to be a little bit more of a test for the Grizzlies than we thought, or certainly than it looked like at halftime.
Yeah, I mean, it was 33-5 at halftime. So,
right.
Look at the score now, and it is a little closer. So.
Yeah, and you could tell there's been some struggles, and there seems to be a little frustration, and certainly we're the one having a little more trouble with the fouls.
Agreed.
So, it's about using that, controlled aggression, I guess. You want to encourage all the girls to be nice and aggressive and play, but, within the rules, like you said, hands straight up as opposed to straight across.
And this is where you want to rely on your players like Maggie and Meredith. The ones that have been here for years, they know what it takes to get over the top, get control of this game, put it away in the next couple minutes.
Right. Yeah. So it's going to be important. So here you got Kate inbounding this. Over to Sydney Daly, back out to Kate. Over to Megan Yurskovich. She goes in, tries to do the layup, and it's hit out of bounds by Sasso. So Spaulding will maintain possession as Megan Yurskovich is going to inbound this. Ooh, over to Kate McCauley.
Good rebound by Ella.
Yeah. And Ella underneath. She's had a pretty good game tonight.
Yes.
She's been good under the basket. Ooh, Dodge is going for a three.
She
hit it. I think that's the first time she tried to put one up.
That is her first shot tonight, yeah.
Yep. So now you've got Megan working it back in. Sasso all over her. Again, Sasso's been all over the court really tonight.
She has. And that's only her first foul, and I'm okay with that, but she has been all over.
Well, she's been noticeable and aggressive on both sides. Obviously, she's the leading scorer for the Grizzlies, but I think defensively she's been our leading player too. She's created a couple of turnover situations, and she's made it difficult for Spaulding to do what they want to do. So you got Ellie Averill with the ball. Still was on her, but she fed it over to Kate McCauley, who put in a three. 44-21. Duff out to Sasso. I think the key for the Grizzlies is just slow it down, let the clock work to your advantage, and just take the good shot. Duff, a little outside, off the rim. And Demaya picked that rebound up. Demaya Perkins. She's been a good underneath player for Spaulding too. So again, the Grizzlies pick up another foul. And that's going to bring Morgan Dodge back in the game.
Quick trip to the bench for her.
There's been a lot of changes on both sides. I mean, I don't
Keeping
remember
you
the last
honest.
game. Well, I don't remember a game where there's been. I mean, both teams are constantly switching them up.
Well, we had a couple line changes by Spaulding earlier.
Right. So now you got Winterburn working her way down. Looks like Penny is going to work her way back into the game. She's got to pick up her 5th foul. The good way to do that is to get back
Good
in.
take.
Good take by Still. She went right underneath and put in up a nice layup. So you got Ellie Averill. Ellie tried to work it underneath the Gabby. It went off a couple of Spaulding players over to Meredith Winterburn.
Great
Underneath
look.
the Still.
Oh, beautiful.
Still with another layup. That's basically 2 in a row for her.
Yep. Great outlet, Meredith to Maggie Sasso. Sasso down the floor to Still.
Spaulding will be making a big change here.
Yeah.
Maya. Going to call Ella, I think, for her 3rd foul.
Yeah, Ellen, that's her 2nd.
Oh, it's only her 2nd.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got Penny Annis was about to work her way back in. You're going to have 3 Spaulding changes. Demaya's going to the line. Demaya Perkins. She's a sophomore. First shot, she got that one. 48-22. Again, Grizzlies in charge, but they want to start losing control here. So Demaya is going to take a 2nd shot. And off the rim, Sasso kept that in, but she was grabbed by, I think Megan's going to get this one, Jurkovic.
Yeah, that's her 3rd.
I mean, again, Jurkovic is, the leader of the team all the way around. So
She is.
Winterburn now is going to inbound this to Sasso, back to Winterburn. Over to Penny Annis.
Good look.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful.
That underneath Still. Still's got it going under the basket there.
Yeah, I tell you what, she does a great job getting down the floor, getting in the right position to get that ball.
Winterburn now is fighting with Demaya to get control of the ball. I think they're calling a jump ball here, right?
I'm not sure what he called. He was checking to make sure they're okay. Yes, jump ball.
Goffstown will hold this one.
Couple subs here.
All right, so Winterburn comes out, Caps comes back in. And the other one that came out was Sasso. And Angie Kennison comes into the game. I think this is her first appearance in the
It
game,
is,
right?
yeah, yep.
So,
Morgan turns the ball over down the line.
yeah, so Angie's in it. And just so we don't get in trouble with Angie's mom, she said to call her Angie.
She did.
So we got to listen to her. So, ooh.
I had to let that one go. It's the last timeout, Spaulding.
So, all right, what are we looking at for positives? What do you see tonight? How this game went?
I really
Or
like
is going for the most part.
I really like what I saw out of Reese Still tonight. She's got 8, and again, 8 points is
She
great.
really came alive in the second half.
Yeah, but it's being in the right place. So when the ball comes up the floor and we're on the wing and she gets to that block on the opposite side to know that I'm one pass away and I'm going to catch it and score it. So it's being in that right place. And 3 times in a row, she was just in the right place to receive the ball and shoot.
Well, and the key was, too, she put it right up.
She did.
She didn't hesitate.
Didn't hesitate at all.
Right away.
I think Maggie was Maggie. We
Yep.
we got what we thought we would get with Maggie. I like what I see from Ella. Ella was Very steady down low, very steady.
Yep. I think you might have just picked our roses.
Yeah, well,
right?
We don't want to give it away yet.
Well,
we still got like 3 minutes to go.
We do got 3 minutes to
Who
go.
knows?
But you got to look at that. Those are the leading, the leading contenders for the rose between two thorns. So for those of you who realize that, that's our interview process where we pick stars of the game. We will also try to do a coach's corner tonight where we will put Largy through his paces and put him on a hot seat. Oh, Spaulding had the ball, and I think they had a good little play going.
Yeah, and I think
Megan just
I will like to
overshot Avery.
hear from Coach on his take in this because, I think things went really well in the first half.
It's been a roller coaster game.
And Spaulding made some adjustments at halftime, and we weren't quite as sharp. Again, look
right
who's in the right place.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Now, as far as I'm concerned, she's earned my rose too.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting for her.
Yes.
This will be her first time. And I don't know, do you know what, how many points or if any she got against BG? Do we have that?
I don't know if I have that, no.
So we don't know what kind of time she got. That just went out of bounds. The Grizzlies trying to feed a pass. So we will have Ellie Averill inbound this over to Megan Yurkovich. So Megan has the ball coming in at Morgan Dodge. That went out to Mackenzie LeBlanc. Ooh, and now into Armani Regis.
Oh, double dribble.
Oh.
Knew she got caught there.
Yeah.
A few more subs here.
She's making a face. She knew it was hers.
Is that Addison?
Again, you got Megan in the ball. Oh, she went right around Morgan Dodge and put one up, but just missed. Angie did a good job of getting that rebound. And off Spaulding, so Angie, Goffstown maintains possession and no inboundness. Again, Spaulding in the press. And she's got right, out to Caps.
Looking
Caps
up,
looks
good
up.
look.
Throws it deep for Addison.
There it is.
Over to Still again underneath. Oh, nice rebound
Good
by
rebound.
Caps. She was right there. She put it right up and she drew a foul, so she'll go to the line.
Mackenzie LeBlanc second.
So Kaylee's also been noticeable tonight, I think.
Yeah.
Played pretty well. This is going to be, I don't think she's got a basket yet, though, right?
Oh, no, I think she scored she's got 5. She hit the 3 and another.
Oh, that's
basket.
right. She did hit the 3. The 3 was nice.
She got in some foul
Sorry,
trouble.
Kaylee.
She's got four fouls.
Yep.
But she's another one of those that Coach mentioned about being a contributor off the bench.
Right. Kaylee will shoot again. Just missed. Ooh,
Oh, good
Patty
rebound.
did a good job of getting that rebound, fighting for it. Still again underneath.
What a pass. It's going to get called for a travel there.
Oh, that was Caps.
Yeah, took that big hop, but that's part of the, Reese's game we didn't see before. Her to come across the lane on that dribble and make that pass. We've seen her score 4 great baskets, but now we've seen her as a passer. So I've been very impressed with her.
Yeah, no, I think she's played a good game and she's getting a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
So that's good for her. And these are some of the players. I mean, we're going to need everybody producing. I mean, like we talked about at length, it's not going to be the same type of team that really Goffstown hasn't had a team like this in a while. They've always been very dependent on having that big kind of stud star player. So that was Sydney Daly tried to put one up. And now we're going to have some changes for Goffstown. So Duff came back in the game for Morgan Dodge.
Looks like Mia Brissett comes in, number 4.
Yep, that's Mia. And Daly sunk that one. So Mia's going to inbound this for Caps. Again, Largy really using the whole bench now tonight, I think. Duff looks around, out to Still. Reese, the ball goes underneath.
Great
nice pass out to Addison. And Caps is underneath, so that'll be a
Jump
jump
ball.
ball. That'll probably be Spaulding, I think.
Yes.
Yep, Spaulding will maintain control. Sydney Daly's going to inbound this. And she inbounds it to Kate Macaulay. So Daly. Over to Morgan Riz. Ooh,
Good hustle.
yep. So Duff dove right in there.
Yeah.
Fought off two of the Spaulding players. What's Spaulding's thing? What are they called?
I don't know.
All right, we are back on. Again, audio difficulties.
We're blaming it on Dave because he's on vacation.
Yeah, I know. Bro, Dave's got some nerve taking vacation during basketball season. Ooh, nice.
And especially on our debut night.
Oh, there we go. We're still on.
That's it.
I don't know. So this game ended 53-25. Clearly dominance by the Grizzlies throughout, but there were some bumps in the road.
Yeah, Spaulding put a little effort in that third quarter, made things interesting for a little bit, but the Grizzlies held their own and built a big enough lead, I think.
Hang on. So picking our roses, I think we both agree still.
Yeah,
is in there.
I agree.
Obviously, Maggie.
Yes.
Pesso, and so we're gonna do 2 roses tonight, and then we'll do Coach's Corner because we've been having some audio difficulties. So I don't know how many we're gonna get in.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to get those in.
We'll get closed captioning if we have to.
That's correct. We'll
Yes.
do sign language.
Yeah.
We're gonna be reporting live from the Grizzly Den floor, and we are going to tune out now for a few minutes, and we will get the interviews ready. So we'll be back with 2 interviews and the coach. Good evening, Goffstown. We're back here live in the Grizzly Den with the Lady Grizzly, one of our roses of the night, Miss Maggie Sasso. Really, you had a hell of a game. We noticed you on both sides of the court, but there was a big difference between the two halves. So can you tell me a little bit of what you think was going on?
I think like I came in fast and sharp, and then halftime kind of slowed me down a little bit. Halftime always has like this like thing that it does to me that like it affects me. It affects me, and then like I go into the second half and I'm kind of rattled, and I think that's just what happened tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, even the first quarter started off slow, and then the pace started to pick up a little bit for the whole team. So that's what we were noticing. Rob, go ahead.
Yeah, and Bob said both sides of the ball, because although you had, I think, 15 and a half, 14 and a half, or whatever it was.
Yeah, 15 in the first half and then 2 in the second.
Yeah.
I thought it was
but
17.
But we watched you on both sides of the ball, and we watched you handle the ball on offense. You controlled the pace of the offense. Defensively, I thought you did great. Talk a little bit about, we saw some new players today that we hadn't seen before. Talk about them.
I think it was exciting for them to get minutes in. I think Addie Glazier, she's attacks the rim like I've never seen a kid attack the rim before, and I think that's just a great player to have. And then Angie bringing up the ball, first varsity game bringing up the ball. Like I think it was just awesome to see those kids contribute in areas that they're going to need to contribute in.
Absolutely.
Well, we talked about it a lot tonight, that it really has to be more of a team effort, because this is sort of a different look Grizzly squad. I know you've been a 4-year starter, and you had the sort of privilege of playing with Ava Winterburn, star player offensively all the time. Before that, they had Walsh.
Yeah.
So Largy always had somebody really like almost a guaranteed 25 to 40 points every single night. This year it's going to be a little different, and it's really going to be up to you a lot to lead the team. I think you did a good job with it. So what was the talking in the first half? I mean, how did you get – I think it almost showed like you were almost playing, not you personally, the team, a little overconfident. Because in the third quarter, I mean, Spaulding seemed to be able to get more of their way, and where in the first half they only got 5 points.
Right, yeah. I think we got on our heads a little bit. Like, it's easy to get a lead and then blow it just because, like, you're up, and I think that's what happened tonight. We got it back, but I think it's just mental toughness got us there.
We weren't at the game opening night against BG, but we understand it was about similar to what we saw in the first half, where the emphasis was to take the ball inside. Look for Ella, look for Penny. Those are two big twin towers inside. So talk a little bit about what the preparation was like for the offense tonight.
So we've never had kids that are that big that we can like play an offense like that. So I think just like it still was like the same concept of like getting it in. They played pretty good like collapsing on it, so I think that's why we got stuck a little bit. But yeah, it's been awesome to have like two posts that are like 6 foot each to just really
makes a big difference. All right, so anyway, number 1 rose tonight, Miss Maggie Sasso. We look forward to having several more roses for you as the season goes on. So tonight we're going to have another new rose. So she'll be coming up next, so we're going to sign out. We'll be right back with Reese. We're back in. Hello, Goffstown. We're back here live from the Grizzly Den with our second rose of the night. This is her first rose for Miss Reese Still.
First of, we hope, many.
That's right, many. So she's a little nervous, so we'll be gentle here. Yeah, I mean, we do this rose between two thorns. See, you're the rose. We are like thorns.
The two thorns,
There you go. See how it works?
She doesn't like your humor, Bob.
Well, apparently not, but she'll get used to it. All right, so Reese, let me ask you a little bit. Well, like I said, this goes to the players who were not necessarily dominating the whole game, but the players who stood out to us, that had an impact on the game. We thought you had a very good impact. You had a really good run there in the second half when really the team looked like they were struggling a little bit to score, where you were right underneath in the paint. So tell me a little bit about what your thought was coming in or whatever. You had a few layups.
I guess just to get the ball and score. Or like look for the pass to get the open shot.
Okay.
So what goes through your mind? Because I watched a couple times the ball in the pressure. The trap was here. The ball got across half court, and you were on that opposite block. So what goes through your mind as the ball's coming up the floor? Where do you want to be?
I want to be open so I can get the shot.
Yeah, and I said to Bob, I said, she's done a perfect job because she got on the block, your hands were in the ready position, you caught the ball, and you didn't hesitate, you went right up. So we were very impressed with that.
Well, that's
yeah.
what we noticed with every bucket. I mean, no hesitation, grab the ball, you pretty much, you just launched, and you went airborne and put the ball up and in. And then there was another play just shortly after where you made a beautiful play. I think it was to Caps, right underneath. Again, same thing, and Rob pointed out how just being in the right place at the right time. I mean, is that where you look to, do you feel most comfortable when you're shooting basically under the basket, or do you like to be a little further out?
I like to be under the basket, so I can take a layup.
Okay.
Because those are easiest for me.
All right. So that's something, would you say is that what you work on, the shot you work on the most?
Yeah, that and free throws.
Okay. And what do you try to work on, defensively? Because we were noticing you on that side of the court, too. Where do you usually go, or what are you looking to do on the defensive side of the ball?
I'm usually, down low on, the taller girls, so I try and, face guard them a little, or, three-quarter guard them. So then, it's tougher for the other person to pass them the ball. Because when they get the ball, usually they're taller than me, so they can just shoot over me. Or then I, jump up and just try and, get it.
Try to do the block.
So this is your first experience at the varsity level. I think you passed the test. Good job.
Right.
But going into the season, what was one or two things that you thought you could contribute to this team? We have some great veteran players in Maggie and Penny and Meredith. So what did you think that your role would be this year?
Defense, pretty much. Good defense and scoring under the rim. Also getting rebounds was one of them.
Good.
Well, I think you accomplished it. So mission accomplished for this game.
That's right.
You played very well. I'm looking forward to probably doing this more often. So I want you to practice your interviewing skills and not being afraid
The questions
to
will
talk to
be harder next time.
Right.
That's
We will not go easier on you as time goes on. So,
right.
But other than that, did a good job. This is our second Rose. We'll be right back with Coach's Corner. Coach Largy will be right out, and we're going to really grill him. All right. Signing out, Jen. Bye. We're back live from the Grizzly Den, where the Lady Grizzlies just defeated Spaulding 53-25. Yeah, okay. So we're here in Coach's Corner now with Coach Largy. Coach, I was telling Rob earlier in the game, it was sort of a roller coaster tonight. I mean, we came out, it looks like the two teams were feeling each other out. Second quarter, we exploded and had the game what we sort of expected. Third quarter, Spaulding seemed to make some good adjustments. And, how did you see it, and what did you like, and kind of what were you worried about with this team?
Yeah, like any time you play, we had a big game, emotional win against BG. And so the next game's always, you're really trying to focus and prepare for the next game, but you don't know what kind of effort you're going to get the next night out. I think we had a good practice week, but still, sometimes shots don't fall. I think early, out of the gate, we were a little sluggish, both defensively and shots weren't dropping. We weren't really creating many looks just because our defense wasn't as aggressive as it needed to be. It did eventually kind of pick up, and I think it went from there, right? So once that defensive pressure kind of did its thing, we were able to score a little bit more easily on offense. Third quarter, I thought the energy dropped a little bit, and kind of let Spaulding back in. And it's hard. It's hard to maintain that same level. It's 33-5 at halftime, which is a really good half. I mean, you're not going to have many 33-5 halves, and hard to sustain that. But at the same time, it gives us something to kind of use as a metric going forward that we don't want to take our foot off the gas pedal.
Right.
We enjoyed watching, the girls we've seen for a couple years, but we really enjoyed seeing some of the newcomers tonight. There was some foul trouble. I feel like you had to go to the bench maybe a little earlier than you wanted. Penny got a couple quick fouls. And then at the end of the game, when you're, able to develop some players and get them some varsity minutes and some solid minutes, talk about some of those newcomers, because we were really excited with a few of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think, across the roster, we've got all people that can contribute, from 13 different people. I mean, we've got We've got some returners, and I think it's always good to have that playoff experience that can kind of really dictate what the energy level should look like in practice and what the effort level. So obviously, Maggie, Meredith, Penny, right? They're sort of the
Leadership.
That's the core leadership of the team. But then the newcomers have come right in and stepped in and maintained that same level. So Reese, Angie, Addie Glazier, they battle in practice. They battle with each other. They battle with the upperclassmen. They're well liked, but at the same time, they don't really give an inch, and so that makes our practices really competitive. Mia Brissett, another one that just mixes it up. Keely Caps was GV. Like, we have like a really good, like a bunch that likes to compete, and that's really what we're trying to be this year, is a team that competes for every loose ball, every rebound.
Well, I did notice, obviously, like you said, it was a little bit of a sluggish start, but I noticed in the second quarter when, as you said, defensively we picked it up. It also, we both pointed out that the quarter got a lot faster. And it seems like when you guys were playing with pace, all of a sudden the shots start draining and the girls look like they really know what they're doing. The plays seem to always, where they weren't working early, they were working in this, these bounce passes and everything else. So, that's really a key for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going fast, but not going too fast where you're rushing. And that's the sport of basketball, right? John Wooden said that, right? Be in a hurry, but don't be in a rush. Go fast, go quickly, but don't rush. And be sloppy and create turnovers. And I think that's sort of that sweet spot, and that's the sweet spot where I think we've always operated well, is if we can get looks in transition and even secondary transition, try to keep moving. Running a set offense in high school girls basketball, you're going to convert maybe 30% of those looks, but if you battle on the boards, and we did that tonight, we're getting loose boards, rebounds, extra possessions that way. That's how you're going to win games. Even against the big heavyweights in Division I, if you can out-rebound and you can create more possessions for your team, you got a chance to win.
Yeah, we certainly mentioned that in the broadcast too, because there were times 4 and 5 shots we got down here, and it was hard-nosed, let's crash the boards and let's just create some offense. So, Spaulding, I think that third quarter, their emphasis was to change the pace. Let's put a press on. Let's drop back into a 1-2-2 zone. Let's throw them off a little bit. You guys are great in that transition game, great in the one-on-one matchups in a motion type of offense. So what's the focus when we get packed into a zone like that?
Yeah, so, best way to beat a zone is beat it up the floor. Right? And so we want to continue to play with pace even against the zone. Don't let it get set. Keep the ball moving, right? Really hard if you reverse the ball for that zone to get, and we practice more against it. They do a great job in terms of being prepared and mixing defenses, and we knew we were going to have that, so we kind of prepared and practiced for that a little bit. A little 1-3-1, a little 1-2-2, a little 2-3. They do it all. Coach Blake does a good job with that, and so we want to drive gaps. That really is something that we haven't done in years past. Like, we've often passed the ball around the perimeter, pass the ball, and then we settle for a three. Abigail Estano, right? That in the third quarter, that basket lifted us up, because that's that drive gap that we're looking for, where she catches the ball on the outside off a kick out. She could have shot. I was yelling, shoot it, right? She shot fakes and goes right to the rim, right? That was the right play. And so, that's what we're trying to do against the zone.
All right, that was really good. All right, again, we had our own share of difficulties here. The Grizzly girls had a little difficulty at the beginning and maybe a little bit in the third quarter, but once again, we come out winners. The Grizzlies come out winners. Everybody looks good. Me better than most, but we all look good. So we're signing out for tonight. Jen, Aiden, thanks for everything. We'll see you next game. Bye.